that was approved years ago, long before Steve Hunter was here. That every bit of that was approved years ago. But now the land value is so high that the development, the desire to develop that land now is increased, and that's why they're all coming out right now. It's not anything anybody did right now. Those things were approved years ago. And I think the fact remains that the farms are being cut up. We're supposed to try to preserve farmland. Or we have a 30-acre minimum. Most of the cuts are less than 30 acres, and we really need to look at that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Squire Gill.
Judge, may I say one more thing?
Yes, sir. Squire Brown, you're recognized.
If you want to check that out, what you just said, go and see the lawsuits was made on every piece of property, even the Backer property, even the Bears property. Everything that they're developing, they tried to develop it a long time ago, and they got sued. Matter of fact, the new urbanism, when it happened like 22 years ago, they're the first one that done it. They tried to do it. It was going to be about like 250, 300 homes. They got turned down. Planners on turned them down. And really, on like out in the county, when you try to do a family conveyance or anything out there, or a small community, about everybody got sued that ever tried to do it. And then they got them a lawyer, and every one of them run their case that it was right to do. So you don't have to take my word. Anything I say, don't take my word. Take your time and look at it. I was told that some of the guys that anything they asked for in town, they got it. Now, I can't prove that, but the guy was pretty happy because he's the one that's tried for 22 years to get it done. He said, I can't believe I got it done. So that's all I can say.
Thank you, Squire Brown. Do we have a motion to make a recommendation to the full fiscal court on this?
I make that motion.
Second.
Squire Brown, you're sorry.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. So I want to just make one important note. This will come before the fiscal court on the 13th of January will be when the full fiscal court takes this up, because it'll need to be also in a committee of the whole prior thereto. This is for the recommendation thereto. Any other questions or comments on that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. My vote is nay. The vote comes down to 2-1. It does carry. And we are adjourned in the ordinance committee, and we will reconvene in fiscal court momentarily. Thank you all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call this meeting of the Woodford County Fiscal Court to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Squire Taylor.
Here.
Squire Gentry. Squire Varner.
Here.
Squire Carl.
Here.
Squire Downey. Squire Blackford. Squire Gill.
Here.
Squire Brown.
Thank you. Offering our invocation tonight is Reverend Hannah McIntyre from Pisgah Presbyterian Church. Do you mind to turn on the mic, Reverend McIntyre, please?
I think so. Let me find my prayer here. Will you go to God with me, please? Gracious and loving God, as we gather for this work of governance and service, we pause to give thanks for the gift of this season, when light shines through the darkness and hope is born anew. We thank you for the people of Woodford County and for the trust placed in those who serve this community. Grant us clear minds and steady hearts as we consider the matters before us. Give us wisdom to make just decisions, courage to do what is right, and humility to listen well to one another. Help us to steward public resources with honesty and care, and to seek the well-being of every neighbor, especially the vulnerable, the weary, and those in need of hope. In this Advent and Christmas season, remind us that true leadership is rooted in love, justice, and peace. Bless our work, our words, and our decisions, that all we do might serve the common good. Amen.
Grable, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started this evening, we have some special guests with us. We have Philip Brown from All Points Broadband, and he's brought some folks from Congruex, their partner, and I would let you all have the time first to give an update if you would like.
Philip.
You're on.
Philip Brown with All Points Broadband. Who I have with me tonight are two representatives of Congruex. Congruex is All Points general contractor on our Woodford County project. They're handling it's a build-to-suit, end-to-end project for us. So I've got Christian Blazer and Matt Helms, and I'm going to turn it over to them because at this point they're in the driver's seat for us, handling everything from the last parts of design and engineering, and they'll be there all the way through turning on all the homes that we're going to be connected to broadband. So, Christian?
Yeah. Let me get my stuff here going. So, hey everybody, my name is Christian Blazer. I'm an engineering project lead for Congruex. We've been doing business for a real long time. We built well over several million feet of fiber last year. We're pushing into that realm now, and we've been doing this a long time the right way, and we've been doing it for these types of communities and for the people that need it the most. We're more than thrilled to be able to help you all get fiber in your area. I know as a Kentucky resident myself, this has been a long time coming for a lot of these rural areas. My girlfriend's family is from East Kentucky, and I know that they struggled themselves, and so this is a project that's fairly close to me as it's close to her family, and so I want to kind of show you guys an update onto where we are and where we're going. So this project, it exists within the Shelby County, Woodford, and Mercer County. We're going to be operating about 575 miles of conduit, about 850 miles of fiber optics across all three counties. This is entirely funded by the government through the ARPA system. And with that, we're going to pass about 5,700 residential addresses. We're underway with engineering right now. We're about halfway, I would say, through the first phase with Shelby County. The next county to follow that will be Woodford and Mercer, both at the same time. With that, though, in Woodford alone, we're going to be doing about 207 miles of conduit path, about 306 miles of that fiber optic cable to run through it. We're going to feed 2,450 homes within your county, and We plan to have the construction start late January, that last week of January, but no later than probably first or second week of February. This is kind of our high-level project schedule, as you can see. I won't walk through all of it, but basically what it looked like is we held our kickoff meetings with APB and everything like that back in mid-October. Kind of locked in all the architectural stuff, all the alignments. After that happened, we came and we met face-to-face with Judge James Kay and Laz Taylor, and we spoke about our plan and everything that we were going to do for you all's community. After that occurred, we began speaking with KYTC, the traffic control cabinet, to figure out the type of things that we were going to need to feed within your area, where they want us to place, how they want us to place, being mindful of the agriculture, the horses, those types of things, to make sure that we're not affecting them throughout our work hours. We will be constructing in all 3 counties simultaneously. Shelbyville will end significantly earlier than the other 2. It's quite a bit smaller. And in terms of like equipment and things like that, we're going to be shoveling the ground in Shelbyville come January 12th. That is day 1. We will be up and running. So we plan to be completely done with 80% complete, substantial by 9:30, with the complete date of 12/10 for all addresses. That's light and everything. A couple of different additional points of interest. We use door hangers. So as we're in your community and we're going around, you're going to get door hangers on your doors, as long as we don't have to, pass a gate, or we might hang it on a gate if we have to, so that you all can see. But on that door hanger, there's going to be a phone number. That phone number is going to allow you to call in, and it will give you, I believe there are 3 different options, but basically it's who are we, what are we doing, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them, and we'll give you a call back. On that door hanger, there's also going to be a QR code that's going to bring you to a website. That website will give you kind of a rundown of our street sheets, which are where we are that day, that week, that month. So if you see people out of your front yard, you go, man, who is that? You can check that, and that will be us. In terms of where we're at right now with like immediate need, we're operating with laydown yards, so we're looking for areas. We've got one in Shelbyville right now that we're working through the process. We're still looking in both Woodford and Mercer, trying to find something kind of in the middle for us to lay down both our equipment and all of our materials in a working building as well. Expected hours of operation from us, you're going to see us probably 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on anywhere that's not needed for traffic control. KYTC has asked that we operate from 3 a.m. from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On any, or 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. On any other day of the week. So if we're out there messing with your roads and your traffic, it will be during those time frames. I believe that's all I've got for you. Yeah. So this is, and you all know your county, but this is the county map. This is the area that we're going to be serving, and everything in between. So.
Thank you all. Squire Taylor or any members of the court have any comments or questions?
I have a question.
Certainly.
Go ahead.
I've had neighborhoods out in the rural areas that have underground utilities. They're small neighborhoods, and they're concerned about utility poles coming in that they don't want. Would you be able to accommodate underground utilities?
So the plan for the project right now is 100% underground.
Thank you.
We're even attempting to be 100% where we're not even, we're 90% plow. So we're really even trying not to run a bore machine unless we absolutely have to. My goal in specific, as we've been out in the field, as well as what my teams and everybody has come together, is that we will do this underground unless absolutely have to.
Yep, and at that point, we won't be setting any poles. If we go on, a pole would be an existing pole run that we attach to.
And would you all mind to just go back over that those progress dates, give those back out?
Apologize, I talk a little fast.
No, you're good.
So 80% substantial completion, that includes Mercer and Shelby. We're looking at, I believe it's 9:30.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
9:30 of next year.
Yep, 9:30 of next year is 80% substantial complete, and then your 100% we are done, everybody's lit up, is 12/10/26.
And I can share the slide after the fact.
Yep,
Year from tomorrow.
year from tomorrow.
Thank you. Other questions or comments from members of the fiscal court?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Squire Brown.
Whereabouts y'all gonna start at? What part of the county? North, south?
You speaking in terms of Woodford?
Yes.
I would have to see the build schedule. I believe in the current moment it's on the north side. However, that is not entirely final.
Okay.
Some things will, involving feeder and a couple other aspects will determine that entirely. As we get closer, we will have a more concrete, where are we starting exactly?
I have a lot of people ask me, do you have a map of who's really going to be in it on the south and north?
Yeah,
Can we get those?
We can definitely share that. Any reason why we wouldn't be able to share that? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
That'd be really helpful.
yeah, and then we can get them and give them to the people so
They know we're coming.
because they're really wanting you to come. They thought you were going to be here 2 years ago. I can't hardly hear this here to have so many people call me.
And to Squire Brown's point, I think one of the things that I would like to emphasize for the community is that as far as Woodford County Fiscal Court is concerned, Mr. Brown, if you could help explain this, but everything on our end has always been in order. We've always been ready to move. These projects take time, but can you share that as far as fiscal court and the work we're doing, there's been no delays on the county's end?
No, that's entirely correct. You all have been there every time we've needed anything, offered help if we need to escalate any issues, if we work through our contract. Of course, that was really a big part of my first year of being at All Points was working with this Commonwealth to get our contract with the state signed and executed. And so you all offered to be helpful during that period. And I have to say as well, several members of the fiscal court have reached out to me periodically for updates and asked, for information and asked about the interests of your constituents. So I think that you've been everything that we needed in a partner, and really we have had no complaints or any reasons for concern as far as the county's commitment to this project.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you being here. If there are no other questions, then you all are more than welcome to be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Okay, go ahead, Squire Brown. He had one more
When can
question.
we expect him and who will give it to the judge? Or the,
You speaking of the map?
yes,
I will, as soon as I have it, we have it in hand. I just need to get it taken care of.
Okay.
I will give you a couple weeks. We'll have it and we'll get it over sent to
all right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Again, you're more than welcome to be excused. A show of hands, who here tonight has a public comment to share with the court or the public? One? All right. Mr. Mansfield, you are welcome to come and deliver a public comment to the court, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. Jim Mansfield's my name.
Yes, sir.
I have a farm in South Woodford, 9 miles south of the Parkway. But anyways, there's a group of about 50 of us that have been having potluck suppers once a month, and we talk about the beautiful place we live, and we talk about farming and other rural things. And our concern has always been farmland preservation, trying to, housing development, sprawl is not something anybody wants. When he talked about the meeting with the first comprehensive plan discussion with the public, I was there then, and none such. Nobody was saying more housing, more construction is what we want. I mean, the roads are bad. The water system is not sufficient. And to farm and move equipment up and down the road is difficult. Even driving up and around the road is difficult, really. So anyways, as far as how many lots are created and how many are built on, I kind of think that maybe is irrelevant. Once you make a parcel, it isn't going away. you know, maybe they haven't built on it today, but the potential is there. And that's where I think the current path needs to be amended. And I think that this proposal that you all forwarded to discuss at the next meeting is a compromise. That it does allow farmers to transfer land to a relative, either parent to child or grandparent to grandchild. And so the opportunity is still there, but it would slow down the worst case scenario of creating a lot more lots. If we can slow that down, make it more reasonable, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mansfield. Thank you, sir. Does anybody else have a public comment for the court? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I might just say, I'm Ben Stivers, landowner in southern Woodford County. I've got a young son here who would like to continue farming in southern Woodford County, and he's very aggressive for it, really involved in 4-H and FFA. I'd just like to see the area and the county preserved the best that we possibly can. And look, I get it, there's a loophole. No matter what we do, there can be loopholes found, but I think it's responsible that we do what we can to preserve this as the beautiful agricultural community that we're in. And you know, I'm trying to decide whether or not to enter my land into a conservancy, but I might be forced to not do it if we don't have responsible development in the future. Just because I would love to preserve my land, and I'll probably do it anyway, but it would be unfortunate for me to make a beautiful park for people and then I get to look at everyone else's new home. And that's one of the things that's really making me think long and hard about entering into this thing. I've got 2 boys. One of them really wants to farm and one of them's thinking about it. And I just hope that we can preserve a rural community that encourages that. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Stivers, and thank you, young man, for being here. Do other folks wish to make a public comment? Going once? Going twice? Going a third and final time? And we'll move on to the business of the court. We have the approval of the minutes of November 25th, our regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to any of those minutes? Are there any questions, comments? Are there any objections to approving same? Seeing no objections, I will approve same without objection. At the request of the Woodford County Fire Chief, I'd like to go ahead and move up an unfinished business item, the proposed second reading of ordinance 2025-17, fire protection district building inspections, to the agenda. Does anybody have any objection to moving that up? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2025-17, adopting the Kentucky Standards of Safety Fire Prevention Code and Enforcement Authority, and authorize the judge executive to sign any and all documents related thereto. Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Gentry. Are there any questions or comments? I would just say, Chief, thanks for your work on this. We appreciate it. It's well needed. Seeing no additional comments or discussion, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, and I would have thanked him if he was here in person. Please express my thanks to Mr. Hoskins for his work on this, okay? This would be the second and final reading of an ordinance adopting Kentucky Standards of Safety and Enforcement Authority here in Woodford County. The Fire Protection District having requested this adoption to enable them to serve as deputy fire marshals and provide building inspections in Woodford County to promote fire safety and potentially contribute to lower insurance premiums in the county. Be it ordained by the fiscal court as follows. Section A relates to the adoption of fire prevention code standards of safety building inspection. Section B relates to inspections generally in the orders. Section C relates to fees, penalties, appeals, corrective measures. I would note that the fine that could be assessed is up to $1,000. This being, as I indicated, a second reading, Chief, this ordinance is now final, although it does need to be published in summary form within 30 days. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney.
Thank you,
Chief.
Judge.
There you go.
You're more than welcome to be excused. I move on to the committee reports. The Budget and Finance Committee met prior here to take up the county clerk's office and the sheriff's office budgets for 2026. There were unanimous recommendations to approve those budgets as presented, and so I need a motion from the full fiscal court to approve the annual budget for the Woodford County Clerk's Office and approve the judge executive to sign any and all documents related thereto. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We also need to approve the annual order allowance for the clerk's office as presented and recommended. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Now, similar motions for the sheriff's office are in order. The motion for the full approval of the budget. Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. And a motion for the approval of the annual order. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Blackford. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. The county clerk also presented to the Budget and Finance Committee some exciting information about digital access program to digitize all of our deed records that go all the way back to the beginning of history in Woodford County. And it was recommended by the committee to approve that to the full fiscal court, so I'd entertain a motion to approve the digital access program as recommended by the county clerk by the Budget and Finance Committee. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Blackford. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We moved on from our Budget and Finance Committee to the Ordinance Committee. We took up the addressing ordinance as presented by Director Kenneth Johns, and we're moving that process along. We also, I informed the court that the Larland road system, we are working with the road department to get the dimensions so that we can have a first reading of that ordinance, which will happen very likely on January 13th, to adopt Larland Estates Road into the county road system. But we're working on that. And the most important item that was discussed was the Planning and Zoning Text Amendment, Articles 2 and 7, that was sent to us with the record from the Planning Commission. There was a motion and a vote to recommend to the full fiscal court for approval of the text amendment for Articles 2 and 5, and that vote fell along the lines of 2-1. I was one of the nay votes on that proposed ordinance, and I would just share that my first concern about the ordinance is that we make sure we have all the data and information before us, and I think there's some question as to whether or not we do, and I'd like that question to be answered for the full fiscal court. I know it's been a long time in the process, but it's also something where we've had different information before us, and we were talking about this prior to here too. Since March, there have been 5 minor plat in-family applications. There have been 351 permits for construction of homes in Woodford County since 2015. We received this information today. The GIS department and the county PVA worked on identifying parcels and verifying ownership for looking at the in-family rule. We received the report on that. There are still an outstanding 400 applications that have remained to be reviewed. The one thing that I think this community needs is smart growth, strategic growth. I don't think that's currently what we have. We're working on it. I think everybody's intentions are good, but we need more strategic growth. And I say that because we're talking about ending the in-family conveyance rule as it currently applies to farmers in Woodford County, and we're framing it that farmers in Woodford County are the problem with development in this county. And as judge executive, I believe that the farmers in Woodford County, like Mr. Stivers and his family, are the solution to the development problems in this county, not the genesis of the problem. I see in the urban services boundary of Versailles hundreds, if not thousands, of parcels poised to be development. That is the growth that we are concerned about. That is the growth that is bringing people to our planning commission meetings each month to express their concerns. And I want to make sure that Woodford County farmers understand that we do not, as a fiscal court, believe that their use of the current in-family conveyance rule is causing a massive problem on the infrastructure in our community. Farmers are the guardians of our heritage. They're keeping our land in productive agriculture, letting it fall prey to neglect or outside speculation. Farmers are under attack in this country as trade wars and tariffs devastate the local farm economy, as the bourbon industry gets absolutely devastated by what's going on in Washington. Those contracts with local Woodford County farmers for grain and supplies and to take the distillate to feed their pigs and cows and other livestock, those contracts are being cut from Woodford County farmers today because of government action that is impacting Woodford County farmers. There's a proposed $12 billion bailout for farmers because farmers are under attack in our country. The stewardship of our land, the preservation of our land, we entrust to our farming community and specifically our farm families. And my concern about the in-family conveyance changes that we're putting forth is we are basically moving them up to the front of the line and saying this is the main problem with development in our community. I don't believe that's the case, and I welcome and I respectfully welcome anyone's opinion to the contrary. But the real pressures are the unabounded urban service boundary growth that is poised to hit this community, that threatens to take us from a one high school community to more than one, something that we need to make sure doesn't happen. We need a balanced approach. We need to have the accurate data and information, and we need to focus on the areas of the problem, in my opinion, that are the real signals of danger to our way of life and our rural farming communities. And so we will take up this issue January 13th. We will have a committee of the whole to take up the recommendation, the slim recommendation from the committee to the full fiscal court. And in that meantime, we're going to work on putting together some of this information that is just been put before us today. I understand that this is a important issue. I understand that there are many opinions on all sides. I fall on the side of preserving farmland and limiting growth. But I also fall on the side of farmers, that they need understandable rules to abide by, and we want farming families to be able to pass their land and their property down to their children. So as we continue to work on this, and this is the last thing that I would say. And I want to say that the Planning Commission has done a tremendous job and a lot of hard work in putting together the amendments to Articles 2 and 7. But if this was in Washington, D.C., this bill would be called an omnibus bill. It would have multiple moving parts. It would deal with multiple policy areas. And I'm not saying that the fiscal court doesn't need to take it up in its entirety and either pass it or decline it. I'm not saying that. But when I was a legislator, I would have liked to have seen things like this taken back and discussed separately and independently so that everybody understands each and every facet of it. And that is not saying that the Planning Commission presented it in a way that we shouldn't take it up. But it is so big, it is so voluminous that I think it would help us if we looked at it on the individual policy aspects of it. That is only my opinion, and I share that as a conclusion to the committee reports. Moving
Can we
on.
respond to that, Judge?
Yes, Squire Gill, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. First of all, no one has said farmers are the problem. Farmers are the ones who have gotten up at the public hearings and saying we need to preserve farmland. This is a way for them to continue the in-family conveyance, but to control growth in the county. Farmers are not the problem. Residential developments in the county are a problem. They're completely contrary to the goals and objectives. And to say that there's so much more in Article 2 that we haven't discussed because there's been no discussion about it. It tightens up the rules on rural residential developments. It allows for accessory dwellings, which they don't do right now. It calls for conditional use permits. When you have these in-family conveyance, when they want to cut up a lot, say a 30-acre into 5 lots, the neighbors would be able to say, and they'd be able to go before the Board of Adjustments before that can happen. So there's so much more in here that this is addressing. We have not put farmers and saying farmers are the problem. The problem is residential development on farms.
Thank you, Squire Gill.
Can I
Squire
respond
Varner,
to
yes,
one
sir.
comment, Judge? The farmers, that this bailout is not just because of the tariffs. The prices have been low for the last 6 years, and that's because we have a lot of manipulation in the market. China was in the market. They say we've killed them because of the tariffs. That may be some true, but they were in the market for the last 6 years, and our prices are still low, and they're going to continue to be low. Cattle market is as high as Squire Brown and I've seen in our lifetime.
Well, yeah.
So the problem right now is, it's been coming, and now we're at the breaking point on the farm. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Squire Varner. And I do appreciate your expertise in that area.
Judge,
Squire Brown, yes, sir.
may I say something?
Yes, sir.
Can we look back at the records? Because what is really bothering me more than anything, we based all this on the figures that we got. And what I'm hearing here tonight, what has been said and what's been voted on is not the truth what people said. So everything we do is on record. And I'd like to pull up one back when we first talked about this, because we were sold on the idea that it was 600 and some, 1,200 and some, and the farmers done this. But we're hearing it's not true. So is there any way we can pull the records back up? And I'd like to see the 350 houses that's been done in the south end. I think that's what, can Kenneth do that for us? Didn't he say that they looked at all this? Kenneth, did y'all look at the 351 that's been done in the last 10 years?
And Squire Brown, I'll take that for Director John. So they pulled the permits for home building in the entire county, and that amounted to 351.
Okay. The entire county outside the urban service boundary, not in the cities.
Correct. Yes. So to your question, to answer that, yes, we will pull the record. We will get information related to the record, and we will provide this information that we've received today in more detail to Fiscal Court and to the public on our website.
Thank you, Judge.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, let's move on to reports. Madam Treasurer, you want to follow that up with your report?
Tonight's balance is $14,811,279.19.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for the treasurer? Nope. Seeing none? Thank you. I'd like to call on the maintenance director, Rick Wade, sir.
Judge, I'm here before the court to ask for a preventive maintenance agreement for our generators. Consists of, we would do the detention center, EMS 1, EMS 2, and senior citizens. We've put substantial investment in those, and I'd like to maintain them to the utmost quality.
And is there a motion to approve the preventive maintenance proposal from Nixon Power for the generators at the detention center, EMS stations 1 and 2, the Woodford County Senior Center, and that is for a 2-year term in the amount of $14,140, and to authorize the judge executive to sign any and all documents related thereto. Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Blackford. Are there any questions or comments regarding the proposal? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All those opposed, nay. It
And
does
also, after the warranty is out for the portable generator that we have, I'll be requesting maintenance for that also. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Wade. Solid Waste and Recycling, Director Sherry McDaniel.
Yes, it is time that we do an extension on our Rumpke for the next 2 years. We do that on a 3-year contract with an available 2-year extension. So you have option A and option B. Looking at it, my opinion would be option B because it is a flat rate for the first year and then it bumps up the second year. When you add the fuel charges, that means quarterly their bill would change. So I would prefer to to stick with what I know for the year and 2-year extension. So that would be my request.
Thank you, Director McDaniel. And so Director McDaniel is recommending option B for the certainty and stability and consistency of the contract. I'd open up the floor for any discussions or questions regarding the contract extension with Rumpke.
So
Sir.
option B is if this is predicated upon fuel going up?
No, option B is a flat rate, $24.50 per month for the first year, and then for the second year, for 27, it would be $25.50. There's no fuel charge. There would be, doesn't matter what the fuel goes up to or comes down, it's that one price. Option A was the price that it's the month and then per fuel. And I sent you all of that information. They sent me all them pages of the fuel, and if it goes to this amount, then this would be the percentage. It gave me a headache, so I just...
Thank you.
Okay.
And so, yes, Squire Varner, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
This is as far out as they go with no fuel charge. They couldn't give us, there's no extra years on that, just 2 years.
This is the final. At the end of this, we will have to rebid the contract. We will have to put it all out to bid again and put it up for whatever trash company wants to bid on it. We always do a 3-year with a 2-year extension.
Okay. I was kind of thinking that, leaving it like it was, but if it, with fuel prices going down now, but to protect the citizens, maybe the volatility in the fuel.
Yeah.
Maybe I changed my mind on that. Maybe the fuel, no fuel would be good.
I just think people, if they start each quarter get a different price, then we're going to get a lot of phone calls, and I'm going to end up having to send them to Rumpke or, so that was just, to me, the easiest thing. And again, right now, fuel might not be bad, but I'm thinking with the volatility, I don't know that next year we won't have a big fuel problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Other questions or comments regarding the Rumpke renewal? Is there a recommendation, or is there a motion based on the recommendation of Director McDaniel to select option B for the renewal? Motion by Squire Gentry. Second by Squire Brown. I'd open up the floor for any discussions or questions on the recommendation and the motion on the table. Seeing none, all those in favor of selecting option B, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Director McDaniel. I would ask that Director Kettner, Supervisor Kettner, I'll take care of this. We need a motion to advertise and begin the hiring process for an animal care and control officer position as recommended by the supervisor. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Gentry. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Thank you. Anything additional from animal care and control? Thank you. Does any other department or agency have any report or request of the court? Seeing none, I'll move over to the general orders and the unfinished business. I would like to recommend for the fiscal court approval for the Planning Commission for a 4-year term effective January 1, 2026, to appoint Karen Eisberg to the Woodford County Planning Commission. I thank Karen for being here tonight. She's over there. And could I entertain a motion to approve same? Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Gentry. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. I would like to say, we'll give a round of applause. We don't always have our appointments come when they are appointed, and I appreciate you, Ms. Eisberg, for coming. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank Planning Commission Chair Patty Perry for her many years of exemplary service and leadership on the Planning Commission. Patty retires from that position. Thursday will be her last meeting, and Karen will be effective in January for their first meeting. So we wish Patty Perry all the best in her retirement. We thank her for her hard work on the Planning Commission. Moving on to the claims, the bills to be paid by this county, they are before you. Are there any questions or comments on any of the bills to be paid? Seeing none, are there any objections to paying the bills as presented? Seeing no objection, I will approve same without objection. We also need to approve the claim for Gov Connections in the amount of $2,537.22 and the 3SI Security System Incorporated amount of $1,200 for the Sheriff's Office using asset forfeiture funds. Is there a motion to approve same? Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Gentry. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. We need to approve the transfers. Is there a motion for same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Moving on to the personnel order. The personnel order is before you, and this is an important personnel order because we have with us Mr. Scott Dean, lead mechanic for Woodford County Road Department. He's been leading the garage for many years. When he stepped into this role as interim road supervisor, he was blessed by the Lord with 2 snow events. As you can see, he has survived actually the road crews, and Supervisor Dean and Gail Smith and all those in the road department have performed extremely admirably and worked very, very hard in the transition time. So the statute allows us to provide for a road supervisor in the interim for a period of time not to exceed 3 months. So I'd entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Scott Dean as interim road supervisor not to exceed a term of 3 months as provided for in statute and presented in the personnel order. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Blackford. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And thankfully for Scott, that motion is approved unanimously. And I think that deserves a round of applause. I want to share that the process is going to be to advertise and interview in the hiring process for either a road engineer or a road supervisor. And we will hopefully do that in the period of time to coincide with this 3-month period. So it's a big job, it's an important position, so we're going to take our time in the personnel committee and working with the road department. We're going to go through that process, and those applications in their details shall come out. I will share that we've already received even some applications in our general application form that is provided for on our website, but we will have more information about that. Again, I want to commend and thank Scott Dean and the road department for all their hard work over the last several weeks. It's not easy when you lose someone of the magnitude of Bo Wilson, but he had trained our road department and put people in leadership places that we are able to continue the great work at the road department. So I want to say thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We also need to approve the entire personnel order. Is there a motion for same? Motion by Squire Carl. Second by Squire Gentry. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. We do need to approve the Crittenden Cabin lease agreement with the Woodford County Fiscal Court and the Historical Society for the cabin's relocation to the Woodford County Park for a 1-year term with an automatic renewal, and authorize the judge executive to sign any and all documents related thereto.
And if I may, Judge and Squire, where's Squire Taylor when I need him? I think what it would need to be, Judge, is for 1 year, we have to get a certain number of blanks filled in. We don't have the insurance limits and policies and everything and the actual number of acres or the acreage, whatever it is. So I think it can be approved in form to be executed by you as soon as we get those specifics added to it. And it might make sense, and what I was going to ask him is simply to make this effective the first of the year, run it from January 1st of 2026 through the end of that. But again, if the motion would be to direct and authorize you to sign once we get those specifics from the Historical Society.
Yes, so we'll put that contingent term in the motion that I would request a magistrate to move, please. Motion by Squire Blackford, second by Squire Gentry. Are there any questions thereon? Essentially, we're making it contingent upon the county attorney and the judge executive's final review, but it's to approve the lease agreement between the fiscal court and the Historical Society for the Crittenden Cabin. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. The Millville Waterline Project, we received our bids today. We had the bid opening for that today. As Squire Gentry knows, that's a very, very important project, running city water down to that area, folks who don't have it. So one of the things we want to do is get that project going. So the bids were received today. All of that information is out there for the fiscal court's review. We do have a special bill pay meeting on Friday, December 19th. And what I would ask is that we either have an email approval of the bids or we have that in our December 19th meeting. And I would just ask each member of the fiscal court to review that, let us know any questions you have, and we will select that bid, hopefully at least by December 19th, so that we can employ a contractor to begin that project, which will be an important project for that area. Are there any objections to possibly approving that on the special bill pay meeting? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would add that to the agenda. And as you know, on the special bill pay meeting, if there's anything of significance or controversy, it will be moved to a further meeting. So if you have any issues with the bids, please let us know at the soonest possible convenience. But I will say that the bids came back in order, Squire Gentry, and there's some pretty good direction for us to head that way. Speaking of another big project, we've talked about broadband, we talked about water projects. Squire Varner, the Big Sink Sidewalk project, is making some big steps forward, and one of the things that we need to do is approve an application for an additional TAP grant funding for the Big Sink Sidewalk project. So I would request the motion from you, sir, to approve that application for that grant.
I so move.
And a second? Second, Ms. Squire Blackford. Are there any questions thereon? That motion would be contingent upon the final review of the judge executive, the county attorney as well, Mr. County Attorney. And seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. We moved forward with the Fire Protection District's building inspections ordinance. That's been read. It will be law. We also need to have the second reading of the 25-19 Budget Amendment number 4. Is there a motion to approve reading of same? Motion by Squire Brown. Second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, this would be a second and final reading of that budget amendment for the current fiscal year 25-26. Receipts would be increased by $1,110,877 for the Paynes Depot Bridge FD 15 funds. So those revenues are, of course, offset by the appropriation in that same amount. This being a second reading, this is too final, although it also must be published in summary form within 30 days.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. Moving on to new business, we have the training incentive for Madam County Clerk Sandy Jones for calendar year 2025 pursuant to the statute 64.5275 subsection 6. Is there a motion to approve? Same. Motion by Squire Carl. Second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. And she is one of the most well-trained and best county clerks in all of Kentucky. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Court Clerk, do we have any other items? Oh, I do believe, yes. You all have had the opportunity to look at the KPDI grant amendment agreement that was submitted to the court this afternoon. We are more of a formality in that process, but we do need a motion to approve that amendment of the grant agreement between the EDA, State Property and Buildings Commission, and the Woodford County Fiscal Court and City of Versailles for the round 2 of KPDI funds. Is there a motion to approve the amendment of the grant agreement for same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Blackford. Second. Second by Squire Carl. I'd open up the floor for any questions thereon. Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Now, Madam Clerk, anything additional? I think we've done good here. Announcements. Squire Gill.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and we appreciate you joining us via Zoom. Squire Carl.
Nothing, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. Squire Varner, sir.
Nothing, Judge, thanks.
Squire Gentry.
Nothing, thank you.
Squire Brown. Squire Blackford, sir. Thank you. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Judge, it's public record, so I will mention this. Lawsuit has been filed regarding the Scotts Ferry East zone change denial by the Planning Commission, which then came to the court, and the court chose to take no action on it, so the decision of the Planning Commission became final. So at that point in time, it could be acted upon in terms of the filing of the lawsuit. The lawsuit will name the has named the Planning Commission, also names the Fiscal Court and the magistrates in their official only capacity. Instead of you all being served individually, I have approved receiving the complaint for you, so you don't all have to be visited by Sheriff Woolhoy and his deputies. But I did think it only fair, since you're not going to be receiving that, to know before maybe you start hearing from people out in the public I hear you got sued in this. And again, you're not being sued individually, you're being sued as a fiscal court. So judge will receive that, our CACO attorneys will get involved, and it will proceed from there. So I just wanted to make sure you were all aware of that. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. Mr. Woodford's son.
Go Cats.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement.
I mean that with great sincerity.
I just, I'd ask folks to keep the Tipton family in your thoughts and prayers. This past Sunday, December 7th, was the 10-year anniversary of the loss of Logan Tipton. And one of the things that was clear at the memorial vigil on Sunday is that the family needs the love and support of this community. They've been very appreciative of all the love and support that they've gotten, but that they want the legacy of Logan Tipton to be one of love and light. He was a 6-year-old that literally loved everybody. He had an unconditional love, not unlike that of Jesus Christ. And they want love like Logan to live on, and that his life be more important than his death. And that's a very, very important thing that I think this fiscal court and our community share our commitment to join in. But keep them in your thoughts and prayers. They're going through an extremely difficult time that is unimaginable. I also want to say it's Christmas season in the greatest county in all the universe, and I know Santa Claus is going to be here. He's been here several times already. The big events in Midway and Versailles are wonderful across the community. Thanks to our mayors, our city councils, and everybody for their hard work. I want to particularly compliment Phyllis Mattingly on emceeing the parade. It was a big parade. It was great. Her and the mayor did a great job, and our tree lighting was wonderful. It is a wonderful season of holidays and festivities, and we're doing it up big in Woodford County with another big weekend to come. We could probably use it to be a little bit warmer, but we're going to deal with the weather we're dealt. Thank you all for all being here. Thank you for taking your time out to be with the fiscal court tonight. Scott, welcome. Thank you. You need us. We're here for you. Other than that, I have no other business to come before this court. God bless you. Go Cats, and may God bless the United States of America.